This is the lovely and gracious Mrs. Dodge helping you out with Edge Animate. So the other day, one of my students sent me an email and asked about can you show us how to put a Facebook feed or page or post or whatever into our pages with Edge Animate on Monday. I'm like, sure, no problem, no big deal. Because I knew that when you went to the Facebook developers page, which I'll show you in a minute, they had like 4 tabs. You could get an iframe, an HTML5, a JavaScript. You get all these choices, easy peasy, no big deal, right? But I wanted to make sure I could do it, so I went looking. And here's what I found. So I looked here and I went to the social plugins. This is developers.facebook.com. I went to the social plugins, okay. And I found out that all that other stuff we used to have is going away as of June of 2015. Great. So need a new way to do it. I can use a share button, a like button, whatever. Makes no difference. All I got to do is click the right button. So let's do, let's see, I want to pick something fun. We can do a page plugin. So I'm going to click web. And it takes me to the page plugin. Great. Which is where I found out that your timeline and your profile are not really pages. I thought they were. So you have to make a page if you want your own personal page. But I thought I would just use a different page. So I'm going to go over to regular Facebook, which would be, let's click me. Let's go over to regular Facebook. Regular Facebook. Regular Facebook. There we go. And one of my favorite pages is the Edge Animate page, of course, right? So this is a page, so I'm going to copy that address. Come on, copy the address. And copy. Then I'm going to bebop over to the page plugin. And where it says to paste the URL, I'm going to paste what I just copied. Great. I can put a width and a height. So I'm going to make the width, and let's see, what would be good? I'll make the width like 300 pixels, and I'll make the height 300 pixels, and I'm sure there'll be a scroll bar or something. So we do that. And I'm not going to hide covers or anything, and here's what it's going to look like. And I'm going to click Get Code, and this is all I get. The JavaScript and the code that needs to be plugged in. Well, here's the problem. Putting JavaScript into your Edge Animate isn't that big of a deal, but you need this. See that div? You need that div. Gotta be there. Great. So I need to copy this, and I'll jump back to my my Edge Animate composition. I already put a rectangle on the stage. I just named it Facebook. Easy enough. So I'm going to go to the code, and across the stage I'm going to choose composition ready, double click, and if you read the instructions for the plugins, they say, you know, stick it in the body of your HTML and it'll work. Okay, so how am I going to get it in the body of my HTML? Well, that's not that hard when I thought about it. So typical Edge stuff, sym $, open parentheses, open double quotes, close parentheses, dot, append, open parentheses. I'm going to use single quotes. You'll see why later. Single quote, close parentheses, semicolon. Well, there's code. Now, I want to append what I'm going to put in here to something in here. I want to append it to the body. You know, you can access the tags in the DOM. It's not that big of a deal. Now I'm going to paste all that code I got in, like, okay, it's mostly purple. Why? Well, first it's all on different lines. Now you can delete things and make this all one line if you want. that'd work. I like being able to see everything, so I'm going to spend an inordinate amount of time making this so it'll work. So to be able to do multiple lines, I close the single quote, I hit a plus sign. Come down here, single quote, which that's a double quote, single quote, plus sign. And I'm going to go through this whole this whole set of code doing that, single quotes and plus signs. Like I said, I could just as easily have gone and made it all one line, but then I would, if I want to fix or change anything, I would have to go find it. And I do need to change something, so it's a lot harder. I don't know if you guys have ever tried this, but if you've ever tried to scroll down one great big long line, it's pretty hard. So I've gone through and I've added all the plus signs and single quotes, and you'll notice that this didn't change colors. That's because of these single quotes. So we have to, because this is JavaScript, we need to send a little message to the to the browsers and stuff. Ignore it. So we're going to hit the escape, and the escape here is a backslash. Put it before each one of the quotes, and before this one, and before this one. Boom. Okay. Everything looks good. It still says I have an error, but that's not possible. It would be wrong. So sometimes you ever do this one where you, where is it? It says unexpected in line 3. Oh, because I didn't add a plus sign right here. The thing I tell everybody is be aware of the fact that this is, if you don't do it right, there we go. You will make that mistake. You skip the line, it won't work. So now if I click off and click on, yep, all my code's right. Thank God I found that. It could have been a real pain, right? So this will append that code to that. Next thing to do, we need the second part of that plugin, which is all this crazy stuff right here. So I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to make a variable because we need some variable practice. So to create a variable, var, and I'm going to call my variable fbFeed, because I'm clever like that, equals 2 single quotes and a semicolon. In between there, I'm going to paste my line of code. Now see how that one's like a really big long line of code? That's really huge. And I need to get to the end of it so I can go to the next line. And I'm almost ready, at least as far as the coding goes. There's another step they don't tell you. So we're going to do that. So again, typical Edge stuff, sym dot $, open parentheses, double quotes, close parentheses, dot, HTML, because basically that's what we're going to add, open parentheses. And since we plan to put a variable in there, we don't need quotes, close it, close semicolon. So the question is, where do we want to put this feed? Well, I want to put it in the thing I named Facebook. Okay, F-A-C-E-B-O-O-K. Make sure that this is exactly the same as this. If they aren't, won't work. Now, I'm going to plug in my variable here, fbFeed. Now, you would think this would be all it takes, but not with the version of Animate that we have. Our version is 14.1 or 14.2 or 14.1.5, whatever. But it's the one where I need to add a script. If you happen to have an older version than CC, you're okay. I need to add a script. Well, the script I need to add is the Jquery. And I can do it 2 ways, and I even went there already. So I went to jquery.com, pushed the big download button. There's a giant download button. I'll go back to it so you can see it. So jquery.com. See, big old download button. I push that. Now, you can do this 2 ways. You can download the proper library to the disk, your disk, and upload it with your new stuff. Or you can be lazy like me and use the CDN. So I'm just going to grab the code to the JScript. And I'll try it again. I don't need that quotation mark, so I'm going to delete it when I get to it. So I'm going to copy this. Copy. And I am going to come over here and press the plus sign, and I'm going to get it from the URL. Right after the double slash, I'm going to paste, and I'm going to delete that last plus sign because I don't need it. Plus. Now, I got everything I need. So I'm going to bebop on over, preview in browser. Takes a second. Oh, there it is. I can actually make it bigger. I could make the box smaller too, but there's my page. I click on it. If I click on it like I just did, there you go, opens up right there, right? I can I've already liked it, so I can't like it again. Isn't that a shame, right? I could share it if I want, and here's all my little friends who are totally into it as well. So if I want to spruce that puppy up a little, so let's I could just change this, you know, this little, maybe something like that. See if that approves. Come over here, command reload. There you go. And there's our box. So it's that easy. You can do it with like buttons, same procedure, pages like I just did, individual posts. You can do it with recommend buttons, share buttons, all the social plugins you want. So that's how I did it. And that's all for today. Adios, amigos.